Hello, guys, and welcome to our show. As you can see, we mucked around with some stuff here and there just to see if everything goes all right. We last minute glitches as usual, Brett. It's just
Hello, everybody. First of all, but yes, I didn't think we're going to make it on the show because I was having internet issues.
Yeah. So the bugs finally got to us. We just solved it in the last split second, Brett. So that's really good news. I've had some stuff happening here in the background as well. So gone like berserk, So bit of remodeling in the background.
Looks like you're going to become a light shop there, Mark.
It's going to be a full-on studio. I mean, next time we do the show, everyone is going to see like the internal of the Enterprise, Like, so I'm just going to set it up like Star Trek, So I have lights flashing everywhere and buttons going off everywhere. So how's everyone going? We've got Riss here, we've got Lauren, we've got Azza here as well. So how you going, mate? And so we're just building up the numbers, and it's slowly getting there, Brett. So what did you get up to? So tell us, Brett. What I heard you got some new cameras.
Oh, did I? Security cameras.
Security cameras, correct. Yeah.
Been up in the roof and everything, and and I think that was part of the problem. Me getting my internet going. It was hogging all the bandwidth, I think.
Yeah, so, maybe. It's just something that we need to work out down the track and make sure we don't have these last second heart attacks. And Bill, how you going, mate? How's things? I'm just seeing Bill coming in. So we've got a few more people. We'll just
Steve, how you going?
I'm still in the middle of setting everything up, guys. So don't worry about me. Just
that's when we thought we had everything set up and
just giving all my gear the last silicon spray lubrication, and just making sure everything works all right.
Right.
So as I said, all this backdrop. IKEA has got new lights and all that sort of stuff here in Australia. So I bought myself that light bulb. They're LEDs, so they actually look like the what are they called? Oh, those old-fashioned light bulbs, and the Edison light bulb. Yeah. So they actually really come along with the LEDs now to actually make them look alike. Good job, actually. Yeah.
Cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's actually an Edison light in there as well now. So I replaced my Edison light in that one because they keep on blowing up those filaments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incandescent? No, not incandescent. No, the Edison light globes, they got this old-fashioned look.
Yep. Yeah, well, Mark's gone all fancy at the background. I'm just still sticking to LED lights in the background here.
We just got to do something about it. I've got to come over there and give you a new wardrobe. We just got to fix it all up there.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I've got to do this in my office, and the office is not very big, so I just got to do what I make do with. Hey.
Yeah. So, it is what it is, Brett, and but we just got this beautiful personality glowing, So we just got this, we are natural and we are normal people like everyone else. So everyone that's new to the show, you'll just see that we give ourselves the way we actually are in real life. We don't puppeteer around. Even though in real life, I don't carry all these lights around everywhere. That's the only difference. How you going, Michelle? Hope you got all your stuff set up and everything, and your parents are happy with the shelving that we bought at IKEA. Michelle came with me to IKEA to do a bit of shopping. Your office is bigger than mine, Brett, says Lauren. There you go. Oh God, we have like smoke machine and cords galore. Haha. Oh yeah, just wait until I start with the smoke machine. I mean, there's another light here on the side. I don't know if people can see that, but it's you can sort of see a blue tinge on my hand there. That's that's another, another light to the side. Just it's a photographer in me. What can I tell you? The rim light, right? All set up and all good, says Michelle.
All I can say is thank God that my studio is bigger in my office. Otherwise, I'd be in big. So,
well, you've been doing so much renovation work on your house, and you're still doing all that flooring and all that outdoors, the pavers and all that going in. So you're doing a stellar job there, Brett. And we've been discussing how you can expand your studio and all that. So that's just by breaking out the walls and actually taking a bit out of the kitchen, so we can take some kitchen area out.
Before any of that can ever happen, we need to get out of this bloody this epidemic.
The epidemic,
at the moment, because I'm not making any money, so I don't know about any other photographers. I'm pretty sure they're all feeling it and doing the same. So, but until we get over this bloody pandemic, the better. So and better for the rest of the world as well.
Well, but how about we get straight into the show, and we'll just progress as we go. We've got a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of news, guys, and we've got a lot of CCing to do. There's actually 7 images, so stay still. I got a bit of a. I put a movie together. People have probably seen some of it, but I re-edited it and put a few more tracks on it. So, guys, enjoy this a little bit, and just keep an eye on this. Steve Wag, how you going? Someone else come in. So, okay, let's do the transition into the new show.
Yep.
And here's that. I call it the stress movie. So here we go. I mean, it is all about acting, guys, right? So don't think that I'm stressed out the way it shows in the movie. Okay, so here we go.
You're my caffeine in the morning, got me feeling like I'm on top of the world. No, we don't try to impress. Baby, we're not like the rest, oh. Just sitting on the steps outside. The stillness frees our mind. You don't have to say anything. I don't want you to think too much. Let our bodies soak in the sun. Yeah, there's no need to run. You're my caffeine in the morning, got me feeling like I'm on top of the world.
Yes, so guys, how you going? And welcome to our show. As you can see, we are now out of our pre-show and finally into the full-on. So how you going, Brett? How's everything been during the week?
Good. I'm getting bored. I'm really dying to get out and about and do some more photography, especially portraits. And it's been a while since I've been in doing portraits. So, but I believe I got a pin-up shoot coming up soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've got a couple. Whitney wants to do another shoot soon, Brett. I haven't spoken with you about this, and
Oh, right.
I've got another model. Her name is Suzanne. She's a German girl. She wants some shooting done up in Redcliffe, so I might actually have to catch up with her there. Yeah. So
Great. That's good. Yeah.
yeah. So thank you very much, Azza, for saying that.
Hi, John.
I used to actually DJ in Germany a little bit, you know, but nothing great. It was just sort of like, you know, like a kids disco, and I was always the one that would actually play, you know, put all the music together and all that sort of stuff. But I always thought it was a lot of fun, you know, like putting clips together, but that was all done on tape. Remember, like reel to reel stuff, and you know, like sorting out the music and recording it off. Free-to-air radio stations and all that naughty stuff I was supposed to not do. But guys, all the music that I'm playing here is via Artlist, so I'm licensed to play all this. Ha! I knew it, says Azza. Well, guys, if you ever want to, you know, like a rock and roll disco music guy, you know, like I'm not it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
guys, how about we just roll straight into it? I mean, we've got, Azza gave me another 2 pictures. So we've got 7 pictures all up that we can CC. But before we do all that, of course, we're just going to go into the into our news.
Yep.
And let's just rock and roll straight into it, and let's just, you know, unzip the box and get straight into the dirty stuff. Shall we, Brett?
Yeah.
As everyone knows, Canon has brought out the R5 and the R6, and there's just been a lot of talk about the overheating issues that these cameras have got, and it's sort of now crept out that yes, these cameras do have overheating problems, and everyone is a bit pointing the camera, the finger a little bit at Canon, saying that they've been sort of promising too much on the video side, and just basically been over-promising that part of it, and not turning around saying, hey, this is a great camera, and you might be able to, you know, you can shoot some 8K footages, you know, up to 8 minutes or something like that, and that would have been fine, but just the way they actually promoted this camera was a bit strong on the 8K, and so hence we've got overheating problems. And DP Review did an article here, Brett. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yep. I'm looking at it now. Yep.
It's a 3-page article. I'm not going to read anything out, but you'll see that I've actually got circled in 2 paragraphs in there. And now I'll just bring up the one that I circled in so people can just sort of see. So with the R5 suggestions, they expect to shoot line skipping at 30p for the bulk of the footages. Only use 8K for oversampling. HQ 4K. So these are just all these workarounds that they've that are suggesting 4K 120 and 8K will cut into your shooting time quickest of all. Now I asked the question whether or not this will actually have an impact on photos. So basically, if the camera overheats, or when it overheats, it will actually stop you from using the camera full stop. So you won't be able to take any pictures anymore. You won't be able to use the camera until it cools down. Just so people know about this. I just don't know if there's going to be many people here in this that are coming into this show that are completely overwhelmed by this camera. Initially, I was overwhelmed by this camera, but I also said, beware of the overheating. This camera is going to overheat. So don't expect to be able to shoot for extended periods. Be aware of those extensive cooling periods between bursts of shooting. And this is the R5 and the R6 as well. Okay. Now, the other one was their conclusion was that after extensive testing both cameras, their conclusion was that both the R5 and the R6 appear capable of working as promised. Lack of dependability makes them a poor choice for much professional video work. So that's scathing as far as I'm concerned, because you're talking about a high-end camera that won't be able to stand up to professional work, which is a bit of a sad point. And I don't know what Canon is going to do about this. There was talk about them having an adapter between the camera body and the lens, and this adapter is going to, be actually somewhat of a heat sink fan or something that's going to cool down the camera that way somehow. But these are all going to be patch ups for this camera, which is terrible. And so many people have actually done already pre-orders on these.
I don't don't like the sound of that though, Mark.
Well, I don't either. So I mean, this is also the good reason why Sony took this long to finally bring out a camera, and they decided not to bring out 8K. They decided to, we're just going to do the 4K bit, and we're just going to make sure that we've got a heatsink in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. If anyone's got any questions about this, just sing out, and we'll discuss this. But I just want to sort of shoot through the news, and this was Canon, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
It's a real pity that it's come to this, that Canon had brought out something and the specs were so great and everybody was looking for it, but I have to say that all this time I knew there was going to be some problem at the end when they start doing the real reviews on this, and exactly what I thought. It's a pity because I wanted Canon to do really well, especially for their fans. They're diehard users. But that's really, these two cameras really just brought the whole thing to an end. It's just unusable. But yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's going to happen in the future there. I just don't know. I mean, the more people are going to get this camera in their hands, the more people are going to really realize, oh damn, it's a problem. It's a problem, because everyone's going to be trying to push this camera. And in professional work, if you're doing a wedding and you've got a camera that won't start up for another 15 minutes, I don't know what they're going to do, but that's up for Canon to work out and sort.
I did hear in the about there might be a lawsuit to Canon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard that one yet, but I wouldn't be surprised.
They either recall or the cameras back and fix the problem.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know what you can do. The only thing I personally imagine, they just need to recall it back and whatever they come up with, fix it. Even if they have to restart the whole from ground up again. Because.
Yep.
Yeah, they obviously, like you just mentioned before, they didn't think about it. And I mean, look, for the times that you use the video, not long enough, and then waiting.
Yeah, it's a bit of a disaster when you think about how long it took them to. I mean, they promoted this camera, and then they brought it out, and it's not standing up. Look, I mean. Every Canon user is going to try and make this camera work, and we just have to wait and see. And I wish everyone the best. Whoever has actually pre-ordered it and purchased it, and will be now trying this camera out. I mean, try it out. If you've got problems with it, get in contact with Canon. Send it back if you're not happy with it. It's just one of those things where. I mean, do make sure that you've got a camera that you are going to be, dealing with for several years, and that will do the job. Okay, now I'm just going over to the next story, Brett, and because I'm trying to sort of like move on the show a little bit more because we've got so many so many CCs to do. Now, if you guys are not aware about these Atem Mini control boards, they're basically what I'm using to stream the show, and that permits me to put video or HDMI through into the computer, which goes when you look up the top on the picture, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see the USB out. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the cameras that you can actually port into this box or into this board, and the USB out is what basically goes to the computer, and then you will be able to see what the cameras are seeing on your screen. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, Brett, is because Atem Mini has now expanded a little bit more. They've gone into Atem Mini Pro ISO. Now, I just want to make people aware that the Pro ISO is really like a pro level. It will actually record each camera separately now, which is just a completely over the top item that you if anyone is looking at this, then maybe you can even have the Atem Mini and you'll be fine. I actually own the Atem Mini Pro, but just so people actually understand that, I've got a bit of a blurb here, which is the item description, and hang on, I'll bring this up as well. Okay, so this will actually explain to you what it can do. The Atem Mini is a fast setup, etc. I mean, it's all written down here, guys. If anyone is interested and wants to know exactly what the differences are between these, there are other YouTubers that go into a lot more detail than what we will be here, because we are more camera centric. But this is sort of like if you want to do live streaming, or if you want to do that sort of video stuff where you're doing live presentations in churches, etc., that sort of stuff, that this is what these boards are for. And I'm just sort of trying to catch up with what everyone is writing. As I was just saying, is the overheating problem only an issue when shooting video? No, it's not, Azza. It's actually a problem. No. It's a problem with shooting images and shooting video. So it impacts the still shooter. Yes.
Yes, it does. I've heard that I can't remember. There's a girl undone. He said that he was shooting for a bit over an hour, an hour and a half, just taking still photos. Yeah. And after that, he could not shoot video. Straight, couldn't go from that into video. And
I mean, the other problem these cameras have got is that wobble. When you actually when you've got a wide lens on these cameras, you will see the full gamut of the ibis in that camera, and you'll see these ibises move around a fair bit, and you'll hence see a wobble on a wide lens on the video. So
and
it is what it is.
That's to be expected too, because you're playing with more megapixels too. So the more megapixels in that, you're going to have that more problem noticeable in wider lenses as well. So so
Lauren, it's not just the video that's affected. It's when you got an overheating problem, then the camera is going to shut down. You can't take pictures and you can't take videos until it's ready to go again.
Yeah, you can't review your photos or anything. Yeah, you're basically locked out.
Yeah. So. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, we don't know too much about these cameras. I mean, the only way you're really going to find out is by actually having the physical camera in your hand. And Canon Australia, if you want to give me a camera, and I'll test it for you. No problems.
That'd be good. That'd be good if you can get hold of one, because look, I mean, Yeah, I mean, it's like I mentioned before. You know, they're fantastic camera. I mean, I wouldn't have worried about the 8K side of it because we're still trying to get 4K as a standard. I mean, we can't even watch a lot of movies in 4K yet. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't understand yet. But to a video photographer, the downsampling from 8K to 4K is where they look at, and they're getting pulling resolution and detail and that
Yeah, exactly.
downsample.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you should be viewing in like an 8K TV or whatever. That's a long way down the track before we even get there. So,
I mean, really, I mean, you got to really, as I said, you know, I mean, we are not, we haven't got a Canon camera here. We haven't got an R5 or an R6 here where we can definitely turn around and say, this camera is really bad or this camera is really good. It just means that I'm just want to make people that are in the purchase line and they want to purchase something like this camera, just be fully aware and do make sure that you can. Shut up. It's my Android talking to me. So that we just have to definitely make sure that this camera is going to work and you can actually return the camera if you are not happy with its performance.
Yeah.
Now, I just wanted to bring up these pictures, and I've already brought one up where you can see the pollution levels, which is really interesting. This picture here is the Los Angeles, California, would you believe? So you can actually just see how much cleaner the air is these days with a lot of traffic. Since the COVID has arrived, we can now see how much clearer. So this is the before, the top one, and the after one below. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And I've got a few more. Let's just bring up a few more quickly. This one here is in New Delhi. No surprise that India is very smogged up and in normal circumstances. But here, again, you can see how much cleaner the air is. And so, look, I mean, should we say that right now Earth is getting a breather? You know, which is interesting. So we've got something good happening as well, I guess. You know, like in all this bad stuff, we've got to see sometimes the good that's happening in the world. And I mean, a lot better air. That can only be a positive. Yep.
Yep.
This is Milan, Italy. Again, you know, the air is a lot clearer and crisper. I just don't know how much these pictures have been doctored to push them a bit, etc. But how far can you go with these sort of images? And this is the Grand Channel in Venice, Italy, as well. So right around the world, we're just getting all these cleared up air, and you can also tell that there are also images online where you can see the amount of tourists and the population that is walking around the streets, etc., has just dropped dramatically on these site-worthy places, like the Eiffel Tower, etc. You know, there's just so much less people around now. So all that used to be blocked is pretty good nowadays. Yeah. So you can see, you know, like, I mean, shopping centers are basically just bare empty overseas. This is down in Melbourne, believe it or not.
I was just going to say
this is High Point, Melbourne. I used to live very close to it. I used to go there shopping. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the images coming up on the news and that from Melbourne, the streets being clear, and you know, it's just like a ghost town, isn't it?
Yeah. Now this is actually the entry to the Eiffel Tower. You can just sort of see on the right-hand corner there where the Eiffel Tower is, and this is what it used to be. When I went there, a few years back. I've been there many times, something like 5 times or so. Yeah, it's every time it just got worse and worse, and more and more people. So this is not a joke. This is what it actually looks like. So the wait time is amazing, and this is what it actually looks like in 2020 during COVID. So yeah, it's a stark difference, you know, to be able to get up there. So yeah, I mean, it's no surprise to anyone, I guess. Yeah, and let's just go on to the next story. Is everyone keeping up with me? I'm really riding the horse tonight, so really just... if anyone's got any questions or anything like that, just, you know, like...
pop them up in the chat. And
wish my traffic of a week looked like that. Yeah, I mean, they're taking... It's a lot more serious over in Europe and other countries. We've been... You know, they're always saying we're in a lucky country, and I think right now we're in a lucky state. I mean, Queensland is the one that's really keeping the numbers knocked down, so it's going okay here, but other places not so well.
Yeah, well, Northern Territory is doing a fantastic job as well. Western Australia. So yeah, and we're all doing pretty good. So, and in case people haven't known too, that Queensland just closed its border 2 days ago to New South Wales and Victoria. So,
yeah, it was it was Friday to Saturday night, and it's basically we've locked up to 3 states now: the ACT,
there you go,
New South Wales, and Victoria.
Yep. Yeah.
Yesterday, 1 a.m. says risk. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is the another update for the A7 R4, guys. If anyone's got the A7 R4, just you can update from 1.1 to 1.2, which is. I have got all the links down in the comment box if anyone wants to go there and actually do the updating. Or what this update really does, Brett, is it gives some improvement on the video AF side for the brand new 12 to 24mm 2.8 GM lens.
Yeah, yep, that's it. Yeah. And other few bits and improvements and stuff like that. So not a big update, but
it's only a minor update, and I haven't actually tried out the what else it does, but it is probably worthwhile updating, and I still got to take this camera out with me. I used the A9 the other day to upload some pictures and go for a walk with it, but haven't done anything with this camera yet since the update.
But anyhow, so you done the firmware update on this so far? You have, yeah. But
there's no issue, so it's safe to update, guys. If anyone's wants to do the update, there's no problems with it.
Yeah. So if you got this camera, please update. As Mark said, there's no issues or anything like that. Not that he's aware of. I don't have this camera yet, but it's always best to update firmware anyhow as they come out.
Yeah.
It's like what you do with your phones. You know, Samsung's had how many times Samsung's had a firmware update in the last 2 months? About 3 or 4 now.
No, every time I switch on my phone, it just seems like it needs another update. And so is Apple is the same way as well, you know. So, but if they find it worthy to update, and I mean, really, lately, every update that I've done on any device hasn't really given me much back, hasn't given me any improvements, and yet it also has not given me any problems after the update. So I just don't know what I'm updating for, You know, like there's
Yeah.
no, it's only minor incremental,
That's right.
minor changes. So it's
Yeah.
not much happening there. I mean, even Chrome, you know, like the web browser. If you go to your web browser and you actually check on Chrome for an update, there's usually another update, and I haven't seen any changes for the last year now. Every time I update, I fail to
Yeah.
find what it's actually doing. And John says he's done the update but can't afford the 12 to 24 GM. So I'm in the same boat, John. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
$5,000 lens here in Australia, so
At least you have the update in the
Yep.
gun and camp, because if you do, you get a chance to use it. You might hire it with someone or use somebody else's copy. At least you got
Exactly.
the update. So yeah, so it's always handy.
And Riz says, love being a dinosaur on updates for me to stuff up. But I did have a long conversation back and forth with Riz yesterday, Brett, about a different camera, etc. So
Okay.
just not say too much about that. It's some considerations there. Okay, and I'll just fall straight into the next story. And Sigma has brought out an 85-1.4 lens, which is an interesting price point. $1,699. It's not a bad price. I
And-
think this is US.
And quite small.
Quite small.
It's-
It's
yeah.
actually smaller than the 1.4 GM from Sony.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's
it is.
interesting.
So very light, compact.
Yep.
Still has a huge bloody lens hood on it, but which makes it look really beefy. But yeah, so there's been good news about this, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to see it. Has anybody got a copy? So
Yeah.
far, back order now.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like right now it's on back order, but it says it's due on the 30th of the 10th. So if anyone is interested in it, yep, do your homework again. Maybe wait until the testers get their versions and they actually give it a thorough work through and testing. But if that lens performs anything like the Sigma 105, 1.8?
Yeah,
It's a monster of a lens, but if it performs just as
massive.
good, yeah, it's a massive
Absolutely
lens. Yeah.
massive.
Well, let's hope Sony does a better job on the 105 that they're bringing out. Sony,
Yeah, you're still waiting on that one.
I am, like I'm just going to give them my money like this, Same thing with the S3, like.
Yeah.
Oh God, like if I had $6,000 right now.
That's like me waiting on just to get the color, change the color on the focusing brackets.
Yeah.
On the A7 III. So, yeah, I can only hope.
Yeah, this is a brand new lens. There was the 85, and they actually just basically adopted the MC11 onto the bottom of the lens. But now it's got the it doesn't have that. It's more integrated. It's more for the mirrorless. They actually made this for the mirrorless lens, so you'll see a lot of good performances on this lens from what I've been hearing. Yeah.
To me, it still looks like the old version, but because it's got that sudden step down at the end, and that's obviously allowed your fingers to become between the lens and the grip. So yeah.
But it's a lot less than what the adapted lenses were. Like they were a lot more.
Yeah.
The shank was a lot longer. You'll see, but look again. This is just a new baby. So if anyone wants the baby, then check it out, guys. And Bill says Sigma 105-1.4. Oh yeah, it's a 1.4. There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Bill. Okay, so let's get into the next story. I've got a few stories here, haven't I? Okay, so Now,
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Steve, yeah, thumbs up, guys.
yeah,
People
give us a
are,
thumbs up. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Olympus. We had thought that Olympus, or personally, I had thought that Olympus was going to more or less stop manufacturing lenses or cameras, or actually maybe go through that period where it changes owners, and then you would maybe see another camera body. But no, Olympus has actually brought out the EM10 Mark IV now, and also a lens, Brett, the 100 to 400 f5 6.3, which makes it a 150 to 700 or something like that. So interesting, or 600, sorry. So that's an interesting development there. So Olympus is still in the game. What can I tell you?
Good to see. Yeah, even though, yes, Olympus got sold out, and the company bought them out. And I have to be fair to say that I knew they weren't going to stop bringing out cameras and that, but I was surprised they brought one out so soon. So, yeah, and the lens. And this camera looks pretty good, actually. It's quite compact. So, yeah.
How you going, Jason? How's things? And Steve is here as well. So we're decking out the halls now. A lot of people are actually coming into town here, so that's really good. Good to see everyone coming in and saying hello. So this I can't say any more about Olympus, but I'm ideally hope that manufacturers still stay in business, and it seems like Olympus is just moving right ahead with the development and bringing out cameras. So kudos for them.
Is this camera still 2/3?
It's a crop. Yeah.
Yep, crop. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic if they went to the 35 full frame. But,
exactly.
See what happens, But
now, there was a lot of talk about this XT4 having problems with autofocusing when in movie mode. Just under the hood, Fuji brought out the version 103 firmware update, and apparently it solved a lot of problems. So it's the focusing is really fixed, they're saying. So but when you read what they're saying about the firmware of fix of minor bug during a movie shooting, so they're very understating what they've done apparently. So it's it solved a lot of the problems that people were having with this camera initially. So good on them. Fuji is really dialing in on their concept as well, which is good news.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. And here's the big news from Samsung.
Yeah.
If no one has, if everyone's been living under a rock, Samsung has just released a plethora of new gear. I mean, they released the Galaxy Note and the Galaxy Note 20 and the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra.
20 Plus. Oh, actually,
it's called Ultra. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ultra. Yeah, there's no 20 in between. Last year they had 3 models.
Yeah, but these are the notes. Okay, so these are not the actual Galaxy 20s. These are the notes.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting that they really put an emphasis on the colors this year. And apparently, the bronze is the camera to get the color to get. And I just don't know if I would pay. If people want to know, the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra here in Australia is going to be about $1,800 plus.
Yep.
So makes me shake in my legs, but it's a 6.9-inch screen. So take that with a bit of salt. Like, it seems like every time a new version of something comes out, it just gets more and more and more expensive. And right in COVID time, I don't know if I want to buy an $1,800 camera. I mean, I would have to have full insurance on this on this baby. You know, if you drop it once, you don't want to do your $1,800.
Apparently, on the Ultra version, it's the U sort of Gorilla Glass, improve, and more scratch resistant. But
there's two different types of protection
but
on
between the two of these, the standard and the Ultra, there's a screen issue. I saw a review by I can't remember his name now, but he had them side by side, and just the standard Note 20, the screen looked more vivid and brighter than the Ultra, so that was a bit concerning. But
I mean, this is the S10 Plus, and you can sort of see how shiny these things are. You know, when you this is without a cover on it. So just to give you an idea of how shiny. I mean, it's a fingerprint magnet. Let's be honest about it.
But this one, the copper one, this year's one, the copper, it's actually plastic. It's not glass. It's plastic. And the guy said if you tapped on it on the back, you can feel it's plastic, and it's got a bit of a hollow to it. Where the premium is all glass. I mean, the Ultra, you're getting premium, but look, mate, I think I ain't gonna give these cameras, these phones a pass. I'll stick with my Note 9. This is my Note 9 here, and I've even said to Samsung, no, I don't think it's worth it. You know, for what you are paying now over a Note 9 or the previous model, yours, there's not really much. The cameras,
I mean, I understand they've improved the pen and the delay of how the pen glides along the screen, etc. So there's all these incremental updates. Of course, when they bring out a new phone, you got to have something to go for. I just want to mention that. Okay, so the Galaxy Note 20 has got free front rear-facing cameras, which are 12 megapixel in ultra wide, 12 in wide angle, and 64 in telephoto camera, and then one front-facing 10 megapixel selfie camera. And then if we go over to the Samsung Ultra, you'll see a bump where it actually has got a wide angle camera that does 108 megapixels, which is just, I don't know what it's going to look like, but they're basically saying that this is amazing imaging, and take that with a grain of salt, because we are photographers and we always want to, you know, I mean, they've only got, what is it, a sensor that's not even the size of your fingernail, you know. So how can that be any better than a full-size sensor?
One thing I dislike about these new mobile phones is the camera. The actual lenses stick out by I think it was 2.5 millimeters from the back. So if your phone is sitting flat on a desk, it's going to rock, and your lenses are going to be sitting on whatever it's sitting on.
As is, you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll see if I can get. But you'll see there's already a bump on there, and every time I sit it down, I'm worried about the glass being scratched or something. You know, so it is. I mean, then you put a cover on it that's going to take over that thickness. So then you're eliminating the style of the mobile phone. You're crushing the thickness then. I mean, you're making it, you know, something that's ultra fit, and they're going, oh, look, it's paper thin. And then all of a sudden you put a cover on it, and it sort of like, almost looks like the size of a book. You know, so it's...
I'll tell you something now. I've been always a Samsung user. and more of the Note series. I've
Yep.
never had any other phone apart from the Note series, but I don't think I even upgrade unless I can go for a Sony phone, but like the Xperia Mark II, but we can't get that here in Australia. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, which is a real bummer because the used Sony camera will work well with the used Sony cameras that are releasing now. So yeah, but
Yeah, that's the only problem. The Sony Xperia is not coming to Australia, so it's
I'm really,
like it is really the fact that Australians love either Samsung or iPhone.
iPad. Yeah, iPhone.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's exactly right.
now
So,
the other thing that Samsung also brought out is the new tablets, and they got the S7, which is, I think they come in the flavor of like a 10-inch and I think a 12 point something inch. So don't get me wrong, guys. I don't want to dwell on this too much, and I don't want to give wrong information. Again, in the comment box, there's a link to Samsung Australia if anyone wants to check it out. But there's tablets, the phones, and earplugs. There's new earplugs as well. So and if you pre-order now, you will get earplugs thrown in with the phone. So there you go.
yeah, the problem with that, John is that you can buy the Xperia 1 Mark II online, but it's an expensive exercise. I would love one.
Yeah.
Problem is that you buy one grey market overseas. I don't think it's going to really work over here, is it?
Well, I bought a grey market Samsung overseas, which was a model that was not available here in Australia.
Yep.
And when I got it, I had to take it into Telstra. I think it was Telstra at the time, or Vodafone or something. One of the Alcatels, and they had to rejig the phone to make it work, and I was still having all sorts of problems. Like it wasn't really configured for the Australian system, should we say? Yeah. So guys, when you go overseas and you bring a phone back here, it may not work with your Alcatel. So just be aware of that.
Well, Lauren's saying yeah, it does, but depending on what brand, I suppose. But when you went into Telstra, did you get that little adjustment done? Did they charge you for it, or what?
No, there was no charge. I just went into the shop. I mean, they were scratching their heads trying to work out what how to solve it all, etc. And honestly, it's been a few years now, like 2 years since I had that phone.
Right.
And
that could be all different now.
I ended up giving up on it and updating. I went out and bought the Note 7, which caught fire.
It's caught fire. Yeah.
So I haven't been really lucky with phones lately.
But have you noticed that, if you buy a particular phone, doesn't matter what model it is, depending on who you are through. So when you boot it up, and the first thing you'll see is be the brand.
Yep.
But when it gets to its final boot, you see the network that you're with.
Yeah.
So it's obviously, the network is, they get phones that has already got their software built into the hardware and all that. So, but what you talking about, the grey, the grey market ones, and that you bought another phone somewhere else. Well, it's going to have the software from over where you bought it, and
it's a gamble if you're going out that way, and they're doing it for specific reasons. The Alcatels want you to go into their shops and take out the contract with a phone. They want you to walk out with their phone. So take that with a grain of salt.
And that's what John's saying. You may not get the support that you would do when you buy a Australian code phone.
No,
so, and that's the same thing with Sony cameras or Canon or whatever. You know, when it comes to the cameras, you've got to download the software in the code area region of the world that you're in.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fair enough. Okay.
I mean, they're trying to protect their sales, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and their sales representatives, etc.
And that's why a lot of people think, well, they can go and buy a grey market of a Sony camera overseas, buy it cheaper. But if something went wrong, you can't get it serviced here in Australia. They won't touch it. They'll just say, oh, this is a grey market. You have to send it overseas. Do that country.
Yeah, it is just one of those problematic things. But guys, if you want to have a look at the Android, and if you want to have a look at Samsung, the new lineup of phones, look, I mean, bronze is the way to go. So enjoy that, guys.
Plastic.
Plastic. Well, the Ultra one is actually glass.
Yeah.
On the back. So.
But like I said, it's up to you. I mean, look, I like the Samsung pretty much, the Note series, but like I said before, this Note 20, I'll give it a pass. The cameras stick out too far, and plastic, and there's not really a huge major overhaul between the old third generation, well, back from these models now. So
Jason is waiting for the Apple version 20. So, yeah, I'm also waiting for that Apple because I'm waiting for the USB-C. USB-C has to be a USB-C plug-in if I ever think about an Apple phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, we're just gonna harp our own fiddle here. We obviously do workshops, and if anyone is interested, we do all sorts of workshops. We do anything from macro to landscape to botanical work, weddings, occasional photography work, studio lighting. So if anyone is interested ever and also wants to do a one-on-one, come and discuss it with us and get in contact with us, and we'll see how we go. As is Brett, I don't know about your end because we're independent photographers in two businesses. Right now, I can't see that I want to stage elaborate workshops. And I don't want to really advertise them at the moment, because of the COVID virus that can flare up at any time. And then I've gone through all the work of sorting out this workshop, and then basically it just collapses again. So I'm just waiting for it to, if once this COVID starts stabilizing, then we'll be offering definitely. But we are doing one-on-one workshops, guys. So. Be in contact with us if anyone wants to learn. No problems at all.
Yeah, most definitely.
Just got the email that Mark is live now. No idea why it's taken so long. Well, at least you got notification. God, that took only an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens.
That's been a problem for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
YouTube does that all the time. So
yeah, it's some sort of YouTube problem. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and they won't fix it. They've been told, and they still don't fix it when it comes to notifications. So
it is. That's how life goes, you know. Like I just have to. I mean, when you think about all the technology that we're supposed to have now in 2020 and how things are going, and I don't know. It's a bit, you know, it hasn't been pushed enough technology, and unfortunately, it even us running NBN as well. You know, that's it's not as good as what it's made out to be.
No.
Yeah, because I had cable network prior to this. I had coax internet. And now I've got NBN, and the speed hasn't changed.
No.
I can't download and watch a 4K movie through YouTube. It just stutters and it stops and it just doesn't want to do it. The download, the bandwidth is just no good.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The only way you can do that is you pause it and wait to the buffer.
You gotta let the buffer. Yeah.
Yep. And you'll be.
But why do we have to do that, Brett? I mean, America doesn't have to do it.
Well,
America has got all this amazing speed, and they can upload 4K live shows.
Yep.
I can't even do that, you know.
Yep.
So it's just ridiculous.
Because the obviously the communications and the government
Australia Post Speed
had bought second technology that was way old into what the current from in America and Europe and all that. So we're way behind still, and this problem, you got optic running up to the node, but it stops at the node. It doesn't go into your house. It stops at the node. That's where it boggles down. You know, you got this optic fiber that's running to a copper wire, and it's just stopping at full speed, and then it's cutting it down to half.
I mean, you got an even bigger problem at your side. On your side,
I've got ABN still. I'm still on ABN. I can't even get bloody NBN cable here, let alone NBN wireless, because wireless is. I mean,
if we as a country want to advance, Brett, as far as I'm concerned, if Australia wants to get, you know, on top of the technical side, we shouldn't be throttled back or held back via the internet, and that's what's happening at the moment. We are just basically, throttled back, and which is sad.
And it's scary too, because if there's a security breach on the internet and the government, you know, like the people that watch for hacking and all that sort of stuff, well, they can't work as fast.
John just says we got a dud system. That's true in one way, but I've also, like, if I want a business plan, if I want to give Telstra more money, I will get a faster internet speed. They are capable of giving me a faster speed. They just won't give me a faster speed because I'm not giving them enough money. So they're sort of like holding the speed to ransom, you know, for more money again. And it's just, I don't know, it just sometimes it just blows my mind that companies like that are actually allowed to do that. You know, they should just give everyone the fullest speed that is possible, rather than throttling us back and saying, well, if you give us more money, we'll give you more speed. It's, I don't know, it's just, well, you know, it's their business, you know, but I'm just, it's a, you can talk about this all day, Brett, and it's not going to make any changes. Dollars make the world go around. You're right, Rhys. And we're just we've started a rant here now.
You got me in a rant move now because, I mean, like I said before,
I built you up slowly, Brett. I built you up.
we even tried to get 5G wireless here where I live, and we couldn't even get that because you need a line of sight, and if you got no line of sight to the tower, you can't get it, and we can't even get the cable. So, because Telstra doesn't want to spend the money. So,
Jason thinks that we're going to get 5G high speed coming from Elon Musk.
Satellite. Now, I've looked into satellite, and it's still pretty bad. Yeah, they won't actually satellite. They limit you to so much data. They don't give you unlimited. You notice how if in a normal ABN account, you can get unlimited and watch many Netflix movies you like, because you're not getting 4K content. You're getting either 780p or 1080p.
I mean, I just got notification in my email that Telstra is going to raise they want another I think it's another $7 or $8 more now. So I just got notification that that is going up for the same speed as what I always had.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they want to go up in the cost.
Yeah.
You know, they're basically turning around saying, well, if you're not happy with that, we can always give you less downloads, less data, and you can go fall back into the lower tier. But the lower tier is even slower than what I've got now. Like I can have what is it, 500 gigabytes?
Yeah.
And if I've dropped back to 500 gigabytes, my speed will drop. Or if I stay at mine, the speed is actually faster than the 500 gigabyte plan, which is ridiculous, you know. And you know, but you know, what do you do? I mean, the government should step in and sort this out. You know, the AAA, you know, the governing, the controllers should just step in and say, look, you are not allowed to do this. You know, you're not allowed to throttle people back. Otherwise, technology is just going to always stand still here in Australia.
It's at the moment, it's stalemate. It
Yeah.
really is a stalemate situation. But anyhow, I think we're going to get out of this rant because
Yeah, exactly.
We're not
Yeah,
here
let's
to
move
rant.
on to beautiful stuff and clear our minds.
yeah,
Bad time to mention my gigabit connection. Yeah, look. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm always complaining about my speeds, but I can sort of understand everyone is. There's a lot of other people there that have got lesser speeds, obviously. But it's when you're paying a high end and you're living in a high end area like a city central almost, and you're just getting this crappy bandwidth. I don't know what the government is trying to do.
yeah.
You know, they want us to advance, but we can't advance.
No.
It's like potato chips, Mark. You get less chips for air or higher price these days. Yeah. Well,
If Australia wants to advance, the government is need to advance and start helping Australian companies advance, and with the mass production of technology, obviously food, products, and everything.
so do you want me to put that stress movie back on again, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So now we've done all the news. We actually covered this really, really fast. So I'm
Yeah.
glad we actually got this under the hood now, and we can get into our CC stuff. How
Yep.
about that? Do you have anything to share, Brett? Before I go.
No, look, I've been very quiet this week, mate. I
Yeah.
have been out and, whatever. I haven't been posting much. Oh, by the way, I've got to say congratulations, John, for he made the group cover photo in the Sony Brisbane group.
Yeah, well
How
done,
I
John.
spoke
I mean, I've last time when we were critiquing your bird image, I always thought that, I did say in the show that you take some great images, and there you go. You got a banner. You got the
Yep,
banner out
there
of
you
us.
go.
so
It was a hard call too because I was going through all the photos and from our previous photo walk, and it took me a while to come up with anything. So yeah.
okay, Brett. So let's get into the critiquing here. This is the first image that we've got now,
Yep.
and this is Jason Murray's image, and Jason is in the show. So good on you, Jason. I didn't know you were into astro, but he did an astro shoot here. The details are, it's a bit sort of, I wish it was a bit sharper. 18, so he shot this with the A7R4, the 18mm 2.8 Batis, and he shot it over 2 hours. So that's interesting. At 18mm.
Wow.
I can't read any further. 20-second intervals.
Right.
There you go. So
Pretty cool. I don't have the patience to sit there for 2 hours and just taking shot after shot after shot. But look, I do appreciate the people that do that. And
I'm just
take the
gonna.
time.
We can still talk about this, Brett. I'm just gonna blend us out
Right,
of that screen so
yeah.
people can see the full picture for a second or so.
Yeah.
So what is everyone else thinking about this image?
And who was the
I'll come back in.
the photographer of this image again, Mark?
This is Jason.
Jason. Right.
Good old Jason did it, and you can.
yeah.
I think this is overlooking. This is the beachfront overlooking Service Paradise. Is that right? Somewhere around there, Gold Coast area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now.
And John just said quickly here, thank you, Brett and Mark. Very grateful to be selected.
Not a
Well,
problem.
you created that picture, and you deserve the banner. So there you go.
Yeah.
We just identified you. That's all. Nicely exposed and nice composition, says Lauren to Jason's image. Great shot. It was very cold. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you would have the onshore breeze happening there in the middle of a night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I should mention this. What I do. Love the image, Jason. Was it Currumbin Rock on the Gold Coast? Okay. There you go. So now what I do is I usually got my boots stacked full of stuff. I've usually got a down feather jacket in there. I've got gum boots in there. I've got extra thick socks in there. Hiking pants. You name it. Extra water. You never know when you decide to pull up on the side of a street and you're there for maybe a couple of hours or even 3 hours or whatever. Even a raincoat I've got in the car as well. So you never know if conditions change, what you will need with you. And I always got that already loaded in the car. It's stuff that, I mean, even if the car would get broken into or stolen, it's not a huge amount of money that's actually sitting in the boot. I mean, you don't leave your camera gear in the boot. I wouldn't suggest that for 1 second, but just all this stuff to keep you comfortable on your body. I sometimes even put some snacks in the car, something that's just in case if I get stopped and I need to take time to take this image, I don't get fidgety and I'm comfortable and warm and I don't want to sort of like get out of there because it's too cold, etc. So you're not rushing the image. And so that these are just little tricks that a professional does. I mean, you got all that stuff in the boot. It doesn't really take up that much space, surprisingly, but it is even hiking boots. I've got them in the car as well, so it's all, and just yesterday I was at Wellington Point and I walked over to the island on low tide, and I just put my hiking boots on and I was nice and warm and comfortable, which was great. And it wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have had the boots in the car. Okay, so okay, let's get to the shot, Brett.
Yeah,
So-
I'm having trouble seeing this very clearly. My internet speed is just slowed right down, so
okay.
I'm not. Yeah, so you might to sort of do that on your end, how good you can see clearly that rock, and so forth.
Okay, I might. How about if I'll zoom in a bit, but it's probably still not going to help you much.
No, it probably wouldn't. But Jason, did you light the rock up with a bit of light painting with the rock, or was this just the light was available for all those shots that you did? Because I'm curious about that.
I don't know what to say about this. I mean, I haven't done this kind of astro work. I should maybe do this and just see what out comes out.
Look, I've always been interested in doing all this sort of shots, but one thing I'm not really interested about is it's not the time that you're taking all the shots. it's all the shots that you got to bring into your
Yeah.
hard drive. Then you got to put it all, stack it together, and everything like that. And so this is where a lot of people don't really understand that if you keep doing shoots like this, your hard drive's going to get full of really pretty much the same image throughout.
It's
So,
good to
yeah.
good to test your technique with this, and
Yeah.
just to see, what it will look like. And actually having one of these in your pocket is a good thing. But I feel sometimes that it's been done too much. Like everyone has got one of
Yeah.
these, more or less. You can
I don't.
always
but-
see these. Yeah, I don't neither. But but and that's exactly the reason why I haven't done it yet,
Yeah.
because everyone else has been showing theirs, and I'm just going, well, like, am I going to be able to get a better image than what I've already seen? And I'm just sort of thinking, well, maybe not. Like there are too many specialists that actually do this day in, day out. And they always go out to these amazing places and take these images, even like Iceland or God knows whatever else, where you got crystal clear, and then you got these houses on the mountain, and so you got all these beautiful layers on the image. And the only thing I can say about this rock, though, Brett, is that I don't know if I just don't know where the balance is here. Would you say this is balanced, this image?
I thought the balance was sort of between the rock being on one side, the left-hand side, and you got the circle with the stars on the other side with the lights of the city on the bottom. That's sort of a bit of a balance. But it's still, it does sort of feel still off balance. I just think in some parts up the very top there on the right hand side, there's more of the stars, but sort of a lot brighter. It's not really sort of even all the way through.
Flip it over this way. There you go.
Yes. So I mean, only thing I would do was sort of just darken the foreground down a bit with the rock and the lighting. Yeah, that's the only thing. But other than that, I can't really say much about it. It's
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to Astro, I mean, I'm a novice, so I can't really comment too much about how these are done. I mean, or what you can do really is go on other platforms and see what real Astro shooters do with these images. Maybe the shot wasn't long enough, like it was done over, what did you say, over 2 hours or so? And the streaks are maybe not long enough. Maybe they should be longer. Maybe 8 hours. Doing this over 8 hours. And I know standing on the beach and doing 8 hours of this would be just crazy. But that way you get completed streaks. You get the completed lines instead of these incompleted streaks. But I just don't know what else I can add to all this. I mean, sometimes when I see this, I sometimes think that the foreground is a little bit too lit up, and it looks too unnatural. It almost looks like you're on a different planet, like you're on Mars or something. But
I just feel the rock and the foreground just needs to be a bit
toned down.
Yeah, because it sort of does invade the stars, which is the major thing that he's showing here. So.
Well, Jason said it's his first time doing this, so I think he did well for the first time. So.
Oh, look, we're not knocking it or anything like that, but I think now you know that how you do it and how you process it, and that you just got to make sure that your composition and to what you're focusing. Don't forget, in these type of star shots and that astro photography, the real feature is your stars, the sky.
Yeah.
So, but the rock here in the foreground was a bit more dominating than overall of anything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I just think that it's somehow like it makes the left hand side a bit heavier. You know, like it's sort of like it's there was a bit of a off balance, but I mean because the point of the circle is more on the right hand side.
Yeah.
It does balance it again a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't know where to look. Am I looking at the rock, or am I looking at the circular point of the star shape? You know, like am I just, which I'm sort of, I'm fighting. You know, which way I'm looking. So maybe just bringing the mountain, this part of the mountain, the peak, more to the right hand side. But it's. Look, I mean, it's just a matter of just keep on practicing, keep on shooting, and see what other people are doing.
Just got to be careful that, like I said before, that the stars is the main focus in this shot. It's just that I mean, it's good that you said that you got a lot of detail in that rock and all that, and I mean that's good. But in this particular image, it just sort of. I don't know, it just sort of takes my eye off the main thing that you're showing the viewers here is the stars. So, and that's what it's really all about. Usually in these sort of shots, whatever's in the foreground is usually like a bit like a silhouette in the foreground.
Sorry.
Unless there was something really major that you wanted to just use the stars as a background, but your foreground was the key element. You've got to portray that in your images. This is sort of not really doing both.
Yeah, Jason says the rocks were lit up by cars going past.
Oh, right. Yep. That can be a bit of an issue too.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, you can do some dodging and burning there just to bring it down a little bit.
Once you stacked it all, and you still got some room there to tone all that down and then mask that out, and then bring down the value of the.
I mean, how big was the finished file, Jason? Once you compile them all together, would have been a fairly large file.
Anyhow, so should we go to our next image?
Let's have a look at this. Is shot by Laurie Karu, and I gotta say that Jason and Laurie put these images in last week, but they just got in a little bit too late for the live show last week.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we just had to catch up with these, and I'm not sure if Laurie is here tonight, but nevertheless, let's have a look at this. And I'll just blend us out here for a second, just so people can see the image as a whole instead of us covering up the cloud. Yeah, I'm thinking very blue.
Well, blue and yellow, orange and yellow always go hand in hand on the color wheel. Yeah. It's cropped it into a 16 by 9. Yeah, so it's obviously...
Is it 16 by 9 or is it even wider? This is actually wider than 16
like
by 9.
16 by 9 ratio, but yeah.
Now let's just see what the details are for this. So he shot that with the 90mm 2.8.
Oh, okay.
So it's a macro lens.
Oh, yeah.
And 125th of a second ISO 1250.
I don't even know where the location is. It's obviously somewhere in the Sunshine Coast or something like that.
No, that's Gold Coast.
Oh, Gold Coast. So
yeah, that's overlooking Service Paradise.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's got the Q. Yeah, so it's. I recognise that.
Right.
So it's probably
Yeah.
shot from Coolangatta across.
Yeah. Well, I really don't know what to say. On
1,000
My
gigabytes,
eye-
says Jason. There you go.
my eyes trying to find where I'm supposed to be looking at. I mean, I can see a surfer, in the foreground there, but he seems quite lost within the water and dark, and it is really exposed for the highlights pretty well. If he had brought up the shadows a bit more on the bottom half,
Yeah.
so we could see a bit more, that would make a difference. Other than that, I think there could have been more work done, or another composition or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the
yeah,
it's just, I think there's too much. It's too wide for the, like, I mean, being a 90mm, there's no way of cropping this
I
in
would
more.
have cropped it down. I would have cropped it down where to the edge of the Gold Coast on the left-hand side, to the edge of the Gold Coast on the right-hand side, and make it a square. That would have been probably a lot better. Having the surfer in the middle or just off center.
Yeah, something like this,
yeah.
down to this. Maybe that's a little bit cropped too much, but that's a little bit too much.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But zooming out just a bit more. And yeah, that's something.
I mean, I just don't know if there's enough definition in the clouds.
No.
There could be a bit more definition work in the clouds, and I don't know where the sharpness is neither. I think the sharpness is somewhere in the waves, because neither the are the surfers actually sharp.
I don't know. It's a bit hard to tell on my end. But
Yeah,
but
I'm just having a
the
look at
way
it on my.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got the major surfer there sharp.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if that's what his intention was, being on the surface as a foreground towards the backdrop, I would have just
Hero Point
made
or
that
Snapper
whole
Rock.
photo as a 1-to-1 ratio crop square, and
Yeah.
not a 16:9. Yeah, because you want to focus more of the foreground and the background, including some of that dark sky with the beautiful tonal sunset and the blue ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, like what you said, there's too much dead space on the left-hand side and the right-hand side as well. Unnecessary dead space. I know you get carried away sometimes about the colors. You love this orange band going right through. I just don't know if the blue of the ocean is too blue. It just seems. Yeah, I mean, there's a nice contrast between the two colors, the orange and the blue. It's just that it's so blue. The buildings have got a tonal blue in it as well. So it's just been maybe oversaturated a little bit.
Which is just to be expected, really, because when you look at the color wheel, yellow is opposite to blue, and they are your. That's how those two colours work. They combine with each other. But because it is going down to nighttime, you're going to have a lot of blue in your shadows and your darks. So that's to be expected. But I think I mean,
apart from that, like it's a shot that can be had. I just don't know if I would want to have the other surfer in the image. He's unnecessary in there. It sounds a bit harsh, but I would really crop this picture down, to the cityscape, having the one surfer there, And as you said, Brett, like, I mean,
Yeah.
really, I'm always going too far with this, but I can't. I would have to do some cropping here in the edit.
When you really think about it, this image is really about silhouette. So, but I think just by cropping it down to a square ratio image, that'll tell a better story and sort of bring up the background of the city up.
Yep.
And
Well, I'm just sort of like free cropping this now. Well, we'd probably just, I mean, you would have to be radical. I just don't know. What did he shoot it with? Might be the A7 III. So you got 24 megapixels to play with. So something like that. You'll be around that sort of size image. Then once you, the YouTube is running a bit behind.
far behind.
I've already finished the crop and it's still running behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So something like that. Down to that.
That's a lot better.
Roughly.
And just
Yeah. I mean, you see more detail. You see there's a surfer there. He's more prominent. I think when you do that cropping in it, it creates a little bit of compression as well.
Yep.
So you got a little bit of like the city gets a bit closer to the surfer as well, and so but I just can't see the line of the ocean to the city when you look at the horizon.
Yeah.
There's no break. It just the color continues into the buildings.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just the quality of the image that he uploaded or not. You would have to see the original to really see to know whether or not there's definition. But so that's why I'm sort of thinking that maybe you should just tone down the blues a little bit, just so we can see that line. It just looks like the city is sort of like coming out of the ocean. So it's difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next picture there, should we?
Next one.
And this is Riss's image. Riss, what have you given us here? So, I haven't got details okay, so Riss forgot to give us details. Oh, what not to do. Oh. Okay, so I don't understand what Riss meant there. I'll just flash that up. And it's very colourful, says Lauren. And it is colourful. But
it's
yeah,
a
go on,
candle,
Brett.
a candle holder.
Yeah, it's sort of like a candle holder, isn't it?
Is it one of those ones that lets the light through as the candle's burning, or I don't know, but it probably not, judging by the colour.
ISO 100, 50 mil. The image is the information is coming in, Brett.
I see that. Yeah.
And okay, so do you want me to say something about this, Brett?
I would have shot probably 5.6 instead of 1.4. Because the fall off just too quick to see all that detail. So that's the only thing I got to say there. I think, Riss. Yeah, I think the 1.4 was. Is it 1.4? Yep, 1 was way too much. I'm not getting a very sharp screen on my screen, like I said. But to what I've seen, it's just too much fall off. Once again, my eye is sort of...
Okay, so Riss has been playing around with Flash.
Oh, right.
I should mention that. So these were... she's been trying to use the Flash. So you need a workshop there, Riss.
Yeah.
Get in contact with us, what can I say? Maybe we should do a photo walk with using Flash. That would be interesting as well. Like a night photo walk or something, maybe. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. We haven't really talked about this at all, Brett.
Yeah, there was a stage I was going to do a photo walk that's just like a portrait photo walk, and we just have a model and we just go around the location of the city and we just take different photos.
Yes, says Riz.
So
big exclamation mark. There you go. Yeah. So okay. So am I going to CC this now, Brett? Oh my God.
Yes.
Am I going to start? Okay. So, if you're taking images like this, I would think that this would be a product, and I'm gonna CC this as a product image. Okay. Now, for starters, you don't leave bench corners in the image, right hand bottom corner.
Yeah.
That's the big. You gotta watch your frame edges on any image that you take. You will see that, and also the. Of course, you got blurring happening around the edges, etc. So you need to, close down your aperture a little bit more so you get a sharper image right around. I think this was. Did you shoot this as 1.4?
Yeah. If it was going to be a product image, you'd definitely be shooting like anywhere from f8 to f11. But as you said, like I said, good example, not what to do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't want to see what you've eaten. There's crumbs there on the table. Okay, enough said. But if it was, so hypothetically saying, if this was actually a product image, I would not do this on a muted table. You would have to have some sort of like reflective bottom, like a white reflective base, or maybe a black reflective piece of glass, like black glass, to make this come up a little bit better. But product photography is it takes a lot of time, but this is probably one of the easier shots to actually take, because it's not this hasn't got any reflective surfaces on the actual on the candle container.
But it sounds to me, as you mentioned about the flash, it sounds like to me that she's got the flash going in the background.
Yep.
Because you can see the reflection down on the bottom from behind and in front of the camera. So I don't know if the flash actually hit the product, or it's just hitting the background to make it a high key look. So
she says it was on top of all of the speakers, and I was looking for things to practice on. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just remember, this is.
And it was on the camera.
Yeah. But if anything product, you want to show the product off. You want to show the detail and obviously the shape and all that. So you really need to bring that aperture f8, f9, 10, 11.
Like if it's product, I mean, you want to have everything sharp. The whole highlight of, you want to show every little detail of the product. And as I said, it takes a lot of work. I mean, there are product specialists out there that actually do work. Like even on YouTube, when you watch some of those YouTubers that actually do product work, you will see what I'm talking about, how much work it is, and how many images they actually take one after another until they refine the lighting and the reflective surfaces of the item. It's quite incredible. But keep on practicing.
Yeah.
That's what it's
all about.
I mean, it's flash photography is not about luck. And this is another image that Riz took. No details again. Flash, and you had to shoot a flash at the dog. Riz, you woke the dog up. And this was done 1/250 of a second, f10, ISO 150 mil, and she was not amused with me flashing. Yeah, you don't flash animals. So you basically have to make a bounce. If you flash animals, you got to have reflector surfaces that, you know, so the reflection hits the dog, not bare bulb flash. What can you say about this? Good try, Riss. Try again. Yeah, natural ambient light is the best thing for animals. Yeah, and Carl Taylor. Yeah, you're right, Brett. Yeah, see Carl Taylor. Yeah. He does that sort of product work. I mean, it's very elaborate about it.
Yep.
Yep.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you gotta start earning your medals here, Riss. You gotta keep working on it. That's all I can say.
Very cute, Riss, but I'm gonna have to say this image is really looks like a snapshot. Yes, I know you're trying to do the lighting in that, but it just sort of reminds me of a you know, like getting your phone and do a snapshot. Yeah,
don't be disheartened by what we're saying, and we're lost for words a little bit because it's sort of like a startup, and you obviously have not been doing a lot of flash work, so don't be discouraged to get that right. It's difficult.
If you're going to be using flash and that, you need a bit of space. Find a bit of room somewhere, and set the dog up and looking at you, standing up, looking at you. Yeah. And using flash like that, but try not to be using the flash directly on camera. You need it offset. So, you need the flash to be off the camera.
And Riss says, and that's what I like doing outside images and taking natural light. But the thing is, you know, like. That's why so many photographers, when they talk about flash and strobe photography, they're talking about mastering strobe and flash photography. You've got to master light. You've got to understand how your strobe works, what it can do, you know, how to make it sing. You know, it's don't give up. You know, like these are just starting points. I mean, I probably took photos like this about 10, 15 years ago, and until I got into strobing. So it's just a matter of just understanding the light and what it does. So every time you take an image, you got to read from it and actually see what was done wrong. And obviously this is too much light on the dog. Obviously, the light is too direct. It's not diffused, so you know you will get these sort of results. That's Tana Stinker. Yeah. We get that a lot. Taking a couch late with dinner.
It's pretty much when you and I spoke to Michelle about postcard. You know, we don't see us do postcards because. While we were out in the Lamington National Park, and there's a reason why we do not do postcard sort of photography in that because
I mean, just have a look at my recent image, Riss, as well. Like those dog images, you know, you do them in ambient a golden hour. It's amazing how animals look in golden hour. So that's what I would recommend you do. Take a dog out in golden hour. It doesn't matter where you shoot the dog in that light. It's always going to be, you know, it will make the dog, the animal pop much better. So this is John Gadsby. I mean, you can always tell it's John's image. And he shot that with the A9 100 to 400 GM ISO 400 400mm f5.8 1/3200th of a second, and he did the edit in Lightroom and Topaz. So great image.
I like it.
Yeah.
He is pretty.
And the eye is pin sharp, Brett.
Yep, that's good. First thing I noticed, it's probably an image that you don't see quite regularly, because usually the bird is
I'm just
the
going to
first
blend
thing.
this out. Sorry.
The bird is the first thing that you actually see, and nothing in front of it.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite well done, because it's like the bird is playing peekaboo behind that branch.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't know if you can see the beak there, Brett.
Yeah.
But there's water drops on the beak.
Yep. Okay.
Which are just quite amazing. The image is great. The only thing it's sort of like that and it's not much you can do about it. It's just that this was shot in harsh light, and you can see the shadow over the feathers of the body along the right hand side of the body. You will see the plants, the shadows of the plants hitting the bird, which is a bit sort of it's just pulling me to the side a little bit. I'm looking at that rather than the head of the bird. And it's just something that you can't really fix. It's just that it's, you either take the shot or you don't take the shot. And you wait for another opportunity. But these birds move.
I'm looking at the higher resolution, not from the show, but from the actual group.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now, the colours are spot on.
Yep.
He's toned down the background a bit by the looks of it, so it allows the colours of the bird to stand out from the background. The background is a bit cooler by the looks of it, where the front you can see obviously the warm sunlight in the foreground and the trees and that. But no, I quite like it. It gives me that feeling this is not a bird that's being just shot down the backyard. This bird is wild. It's not.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
And he's nailed the eye. Love that blue in the bird's head and everything. The colours are fantastic.
Yeah, John just said it could be the nectar, that those drops on the beak could be nectar from the grevillea. So
Yep. Other than that, it's like I love it, and the contrast is really good between the background and the foreground, and the yellows of the banks here and so forth. But he makes sure that the light, the higher lights, are really on the bird, where the blue and the top part of the bird. So it does draw your eye before it's there, and maybe just sort of vignette the edge a bit more. That may bring the bird more into focus, not focus, but more attention to the center.
So it really depends on what you want to do. Like if you want to highlight the bird more, you take colors out of the image. So desaturate the colors of the brevillea and the greens, and then you'll get the bird coming out even further. So you just underneath the just here underneath the bird, there's a bit of shadow. You could just raise the shadows a little bit more, maybe, just to bring a bit more detail out. Look, I'd be happy with this image. I mean, it's always better to have the full bird showing without the plants in the front. But at this point, what can you say about this? It's a nice image. I like it, So it's. I mean, the only other thing you can do is, as I've said before, maybe just swapping the image out and putting it over to the right so it actually looks to the right, or points to the right, I should say. Like I've just swapped over there. But it's look, I mean, it's a taste thing. That's all. So you might might look at that, John, and just see if that looks more pleasing to you. But it's always worthwhile just sort of just doing it, just for looking at it and just see which one, you know, works with you better. You know, it's your taste at the end. And you can see also that John put that I in the 2/3 rule there as well, by the way.
Yep. Look, Brad, I've got nothing much more to say. I think you did really well there, and perfect, really good shot. So well done.
Yeah, good job there, John. Look, I mean, there's not much we can't help you anymore because you're on this. You're already on this upper level with your bird work, you know. So and the A9 is a stunning camera for that kind of work. We all know that. Because it's just so fast, and it again, you know, like, I mean, the A9 is helped by the stack sensor, and what it does, it actually gives you a read speed, like it refocuses per second. It refocuses 60 times per second, which just gives you this amazing ability to be able to shoot stuff like this. I'm not taking anything away from you, John, and either way, I mean, you know, taking images of birds is always,
very challenging.
It's a matter of patience, having your timing right, and being able to take an image like this he's probably taken a fair few images before he got this grab, you know. So, but yeah, well done, John. You know, I like it. Yeah.
I wish I had picked this photo for the group cover, but
there you go. Swap it out, John. Yeah. So again, you know, so John agrees. The A9 does a great job. Yeah. Thanks for the advice and comments, says John. Yeah. I mean, we are here to help people, and every time we do CCing, we're not trying to, you know, hang crap on people like other groups do. We are just genuinely just trying to help people, and just to see, you know, how we can improve our photography. I mean, you don't want to be stuck in one position where you keep shooting and shooting and shooting, but you're not improving. You just want to get better at it. You know, and there is never a level where you should be happy at it. You should always try and improve upon your last images and keep pushing yourself. And you will eventually get to a point where images like this will become sellable. You know, you can absolutely sell this image, no problems. And you just got to approach the right people if you want to do that, John, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, and it took him, as he says, hundreds of images.
Yep. Moving on, we've got 2 more images before we reach 2-hour mark. So
there you go. We're getting very close. 7 more minutes. Roll the drums. Okay, so this is Azza, and just let me bring up the details. So he shot this with the A7 III. Tamron 28 to 75 mil at 28 mil, f4.5. What is that? 1/4. That could be quarter. No, that wouldn't be quarter of an inch. Yeah, it would be quarter of a second. Yeah, and
1/4 of a second.
1/4 of a second, and ISO 2500. Yeah, my eyes are starting to go a little bit. I've got contact lenses in, guys. Sorry about that.
Hey, as a very sharp image, mate. I do love the train. I wish the train was just a tad longer. Because if you look over to the bottom right, the top bottom right of the photo, it looks like the train only just started to come into that part of the frame before the exposure was out.
Oh, the bottom right hand you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happened there, but the image does seem to be not straight. The pole in front looks straight, but at the back, everything looks like it's leaning back, doesn't it? I know the road is leaning going
I'm just
down.
having a look at my crop.
Yeah.
See if I can get the grid to come up.
This is at 28 mil, so 28 mil you shouldn't get too much warping going on at 28 mil. But it does
this is
feel,
yeah, I mean, you've got to make some adjustments here.
but overall, mate, this is pretty sharp. I do love the colours, and that the highlights might be a bit too much brightness for me. You should have watched those lights, especially those street lights and window lights. But the shadows, yeah, good, well controlled. But I don't know in the composition with the front of this pole. It's sort of distracting what's actually sort of going in front of where the train is. If you had found another way to maybe go in front of that a bit more, or more to the other side, yeah.
I'm just having a look at the that street light there on the left-hand side in the center of the image. It's a bit too bright. It's a bit blown out. Yeah, but I mean, the idea is good because I like the idea how you actually wanted to shoot a living train and you got it there.
Yeah, it's capturing something that a lot of people take for granted. They just walk past it every day, and you know, and think nothing of it. But
I mean, there is a guy on YouTube. What's his name? The professor. He's always in America, and he's always in the submarine train sub trains, and he's always taking images of trains, and they look awesome. Some of his images are awesome. I would have to fish him out and actually find out where he is exactly, but I looked at his images a while back. But yeah, I mean, you could always try maybe, you know, like, I just hate cropping other people's images, Brett, but you could maybe just sort of crop in a little bit more and get rid of that little bit of that stop-start. Yeah, but
you could,
see,
but,
the more you do this, the more you're encroaching on details that you want to keep. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things, but maybe even going a square crop on this. Where you go
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that works really, because you want to see the train where. If the train's sort of disappearing out of the image and you don't know where it's going to, where that little bit of fence in the original image,
it becomes a bit too surreal, doesn't it? Yeah.
So, yeah. So I think it was just he probably needed to find another view and angle of that particular scene, and he may not, this may be the last train that we run in that night too, so it may not be another opportunity for a train to be passing through. So, who knows? Don't know. I
mean, it's a great concept. Just got to maybe just practicing on the execution a little bit more. I just like that line, the lights in the train. That line going through, it's really great. It just that I wish there was a cityscape in the background.
Yeah,
something more grandiose.
This is a real urban shot. But I do like the leading line of the train has his elongated by slowing the train down and the frame, and it's making a leading line from one edge to the other.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it gives you another point of view that the things that people don't actually see in the backsides around suburbs and stuff like that. You know, it's interesting still.
Yeah, it's sort of, it's got that grungy look, you know, that sort of like suburbia grungy look, and I would make it even. I would try and even make that more grungy again. You know, like I would probably throw a bit more contrast in there, and you know, like really just sort of like make it, burn it in a bit more. And I don't know if you see that on the just there, you can just see that mural on the wall there. And I would have improved that a little bit more, like that image. I would have probably try and highlight that somehow, like sharpen it up a bit more and sort of work on that a little bit more, because that's sort of like, that pops a little bit, you know? Maybe even that church or whatever that building is there with the two neon lights shining upwards. I would have probably just sort of like popping a few highlights, you know, just to make the horizon a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
But keep at it, Azza. And Azza says, agree with everything you guys have said. You've given me a lot to think about. Thanks. I mean, that's what it's all about, you know. Like, you take these tools and then you go back out again, and just implement some of the stuff. You know, I mean, Brett and I, we know as good as any other photographer. You go back to the same location and you shoot again and again and again. You know, like sometimes you go over there 20 times until you finally get the image that you were after. It's a learning curve, you know. And when you're doing these sort of like transportation images like this, there is it's another art form. It's like street photography. Transportation is another art form, you know. And I've seen a lot of people actually going into that and doing it.
And as like Mark said, I feel with this sort of photography, what you're just showing here, you need to bring the artist out in more of you too, and like add a feel to it. Like Mark said, bit more grunginess or something. Add more grain into the image, or do some color grading. And play with color. You know, play with the oranges, the reds, the blues, and come up with something that's subtle, but you know, so because I want to see that urban look more and into it, and you'd be surprised. So have a go with it.
So I'm not sure what you're editing with Azza, but maybe learn in Lightroom, or if you're using Lightroom, how to fix your converging lines, because here again, you know, you got this, you got some tilting buildings here, and if you meant to have that in the image, then by all means forget about everything that I just said, and that's fine. But if you want to get rid of converging lines, there is ways in Lightroom to do it, and in other programs as well. I'm just not saying Lightroom alone, but find out how to solve that issue, and you'll get rid of all these encroaching converging lines. I could show you in Luminar, but I'm pretty sure you don't really edit in Luminar, so it'd be senseless me showing you. But you can resolve that issue. I think this is actually a rotation issue as well, by the looks of it. So maybe if I rotate it a bit, you might actually be able to see that. So I'll do a free rotation.
It gets a bit tricky with these shots because he's got two leading lines here happening. He's got a leading line with the handrail going from left to right across the image. So that's pretty level. But if you
Yeah,
it's
that's
quite a
sort of
hard
fixed
one
it
to
up.
correct. So, yeah,
It's not perfect. I mean, I would have to work on this image, but you get the idea, Azza. It's but I like the leading line.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's a real hard one to say. It really hard thing, because even I came across one of my last images that I took of the Morgan's Falls from our last shoot, and I've noticed that one of the waterfall, a part of the waterfall, it looks like it's going uphill.
Yeah.
And the water, and that's because it was 16 mil.
Yeah.
And it was very, I even found it very, very hard to correct without altering anything else. A lot of people would never pick that up, so I just virtually didn't worry about it. So in this particular shot, with yours, it is notable for us, but for someone that is not actually photography centric and visually and minded, they would not really actually pick that up so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, obviously, I know you wanted to get the water in and the reflection, which is an important part of the image. I'm in one way I'm seeing the leading line of the rails, but they don't lead me into the image. They lead me out of the image.
Yeah,
that's what's conflicting me, and the reflection is only half working because the legs of the people is cut off.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, and I mean, again, it's just one of these images where you got to keep on going back. I mean, guys, this is a trick, and Brett has seen me do this. Take a bottle of water with you and sacrifice your bottle of water and pour it on the ground. That way you've got a reflective surface. Sometimes you've got to do these tricks to get images like this, and then just wait for people to arrive. So they only have to walk through your picture that you've created. You've already created the angle, etc. And then all you have to do is waiting for the right people to come through the shot, and then you got the image. So it's just a matter of doing that sort of trickery and waiting. This picture leads me out of the image. That's all. Like, it just.
I was just thinking maybe if he had done cropped half of that second building on the right there, and cropped down to maybe just to the top of that, so you only got from that building all the way down to the reflection down on the bottom.
I think this has got a lot to do with timing as well. Like if you would have moved back a little bit and you would have waited for the couple to come into the picture, like take the shot earlier where you would have been back further, and you would have gotten more of the people and the building as well. Yeah, it's just really hard to tell. I mean, I wasn't there at the time.
I'm loving the mood of this image, and because obviously the atmosphere of the fog and the cloud and everything.
Yeah, it's a very moody shot.
Yeah, I just would have taken a step to the left and let that the handrail sort of go more center of the image, not leading out towards the image.
Yeah.
Let that, so you would have been more behind the couple, but then that means water reflections wouldn't have been behind them either. So I can see where you're getting at, and it works and it sort of doesn't work.
You got to think about is this fixable? Like, and it's sort of like an image that the concept. See, artistically, you're getting the concept right. You know, as in your head of what you want to create is it's there. I can see what you're trying to do. But the execution, you got to keep on practicing on execution.
Yep.
Yeah.
To me, and also this reminds me, because it's dramatic, moody, and it's sort of going to cinematic.
It's almost cinematic.
And, and this is where you got to be very, very creative. You got to really think it over. If there's any other shots you got from this particular before and after, maybe of this particular frame, have a look at them. See what else you can do. You might be able to pull something out of them. But think about the cropping too. Crop and find a crop and work with the third rule.
I mean, don't be afraid to really crop in. Sometimes you have to do it. But I'm just sort of trying to see if that changes the mood a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes the mood a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I said before. Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things where you gotta keep on. See, even like the good practice that you can actually have when you do stuff like this, where you got an image and then you crop it in, really, I mean, brutally crop it in. You will see how next time you have to be at what position. You know, like, I mean, okay, if you keep on shooting too wide and you constantly have to crop in constantly, you will learn soon that you actually have to step forwards and get more into the image, you know. I mean, I always say to people, get in there, you know. So a lot of people stand too far back and the image is shot too wide. So people need to learn to step in maybe one more step if this happens. If you're cropping in too much all the time in post, then you are too far away. You need to step in, you know, get in there.
But then again, too, also too, because he is actually using a zoom lens, you can actually use that zoom lens to your advantage. So you're zooming in and out to crop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got the Tamron lens. So, what did we say? Did he? He didn't. Yeah, he shot it at 28, so really wide.
Yep.
He could have zoomed in. Yeah, he could have.
Actually, and a lot of people do shoot wide like that, so they can crop and find a crop later on. But if you can manage the crop by using your zoom and cropping camera, you're gonna nail it in shot in the camera and not in post.
Yeah, just sometimes. I mean, go on. Sorry, Brett.
It's a personal thing. Some people like to crop in camera, others like to crop in post.
Yeah.
If you're going to crop in post, you've got to shoot wider, allow you more room to be able to crop. But unfortunately, if you're going to crop in camera, you've got to get it pretty much spot on in camera.
Yeah, I mean, see, over the years, as you shoot, you know, like if you got many years behind you, you will soon realize that you will get to know yourself as well, and you'll get to know the lenses that you own, and the longer you shoot with a camera and the lens and yourself, you become one with them, you know. So the three will work better together, and you will know, okay, to get this image, you know, like I need to see what's around the edges, what's in the edges, what's in the middle, what is the main subject of the image, should I leave, and all these things are actually going through your head, and your brain is working constantly, and you are asking yourself all these questions, you know, is there a rubbish bin inside, is there too much light, what am I trying to convey to the viewer, you know, what do I want, you know, I want to tell a story, you know, and what is too much in the image and what is not enough. So you got to work with that and keep on progressing, you know. It's just one of those things that is always going through my head, personally speaking, you know, like, I mean, I don't know how you want to work, but I'm just constantly thinking about this the perfect image. I'm always thinking about this perfect image that I want to squeeze every little bit out of my images all the time.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
and Brett is probably thinking the same as well.
Yeah, I do. Like, in this particular image, what Mark cropped it down to, if you notice how it is now, the full size, the buildings is overtaking the people. I'm really thinking it's the people that you're more interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're in this environment, the city, like a Gothic city, cinematic Gothic city look. But when he cropped it down, it was showing you more. It was more about.
It was getting more personal.
Where they are. Yeah.
It was getting more personal.
Getting more personal with the reflection of the and them in the water, reflection and so forth.
Yeah. So it's a difference between. So a good photographer will try and get in under the skin of the subjects. That they actually want to convey, like intimacy inside the subject. If you too far out, it's sort of like it leaves the viewer of the image out as well. So it will, in some images it will work and some images won't. Say whatever you want, but I'm always looking for this intimacy, eye contact, close-up images, like detail about these people. I want to know more. When I'm looking at a picture that tells me that I want to learn more about these people, for instance, then you've created an image that makes it really interesting. So it gives the viewer more hang time, and the more hang time you get in an image, the better it is for you as a photographer.
And I can tell you now, as with this particular shot, you would be getting a bit more hang time, even the way it is, the way you shot it.
Yeah.
So because it's so much to look at.
We're liking this, Azza, because that's why we're spending so much time on this. So you just have to keep on working it. I mean, your concepts are good. I'm seeing that on your images. And Brett, I think we've come to the end of the show. What do you think?
We have. Yes.
Hooray, we've done it.
And Adam, thank you so much for that photo.
Yeah,
and everybody else.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I hope it helped everyone. We're just not talking about. We don't want to just talk about one photographer that took the image. We want other people to see the images and actually learn from what we are showing as well.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So, guys, with that, we're done. We're over the time, like 17 minutes over, 2 hours, guys, and I am bushed.
We're never going to get under 2 hours, mate.
No, will never happen. No. I've given up on setting records, but I mean, I hope everyone enjoyed the show, and thanks everyone for watching, and thanks Brett for yet again being in the show, and
thanks everybody,
and just being a good part of it. We're working well together, and that's what really is great, and it helps people as well, I hope. So, guys, with not much more to say on, I think a lot of people have fallen asleep.
I think they have.
Wake up!
So,
no, it's all good. Yeah, it's another Monday tomorrow, and as
public holiday here, Queensland.
Oh, it's a public holiday too, isn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that. It's show day.
Yep.
Stay safe and well, says Riz, and with that, stay safe and well, guys. And all the best, and we'll see everyone in. Hopefully, I don't know if we're going to do one next week. I've got to talk with Brett about this.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Brett. And Mark says, John Gadsby, I hope that helped you a lot, John, because you're taking great shots, and you too, Jason. You're all great photographers, so just keep on anchoring on. Even you, Riz, and you know it. And expanding yourself and doing flash photography is a great thing. So Don't give up and keep at it. And with that, Brett, what are we saying?
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone. And
Goodbye. Take care. And
have a good
keep on
week.
shooting.
Keep on shooting. And photo walk. Photo walk, Brett. This month.
What? I'm working on
So
it. Sorry.
we're working on it, guys. So this month, I don't know. I'll leave it up to Brett, and you'll see that in our group. And all the best, guys.
Yep.
Bye.